But tell us about meeting on leash, because that's massive, right?
And again, because of the pandemic, most dogs have been isolated. People have been concerned about taking them on walks, obviously running into other people, etc. So even dogs that have been really social, now that they're getting back out again, they've got to readjust to the world. Some dogs do this really well. A lot of dogs don't. And of course, dogs who are reactive to begin with didn't have to worry about that for the last year and a half. But now that summer's here, the country's opening up, owners are taking them right back out, and the reactivity is rearing its ugly head. And again, reactivity is just, it's a fear-based behavior. But we've got to get people to slow down.
Okay.
If your dog is really social.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, and then
if your dog's really social, that's great. But just remember, we've all been living in a bubble for over a year, right? So going back out, especially for your dog, for any of your companion animals, it's kind of relearning what the world is again. And remember that maybe a dog that your dog played with for, 3 days a week, whatever, that dog has changed too. That person has changed too. Mm-hmm. We've got to take all that into account. So when they're going to meet on leash, we've got to make sure that both dogs want to. That the body language, the facial expressions, the tail movement, everything, all in context, is saying, yes, I want to meet that dog. And it can't be just one-sided, because if one of the two doesn't want to meet, they shouldn't.
Okay, so here we are with this banner. What are they saying? Posture, eyes, tail, distance. What are they saying? What can we read from the back of the leash?
Well, though you can't necessarily see the facial expressions unless they turn to face you, we can still see tail, obviously body movement. We can see the ears. People just in general they don't have the skill to understand what they're seeing, because they just haven't really been educated in what they're seeing, how to recognize it, understand it, and then take the appropriate action when they see these various subtle or overt skills. One of the great myths is a wagging tail is a happy dog. And I've seen dogs who come from dogfighting rings who their tails are wagging furiously as they're trying to, kill another dog, as they're biting a person, whatever. The tuck tail, generally a tuck tail or a really low tail with just a bit of a movement on the tip, that's a very cautious dog. It doesn't mean that, everything's okay. Just because your dog is walking with you on a leash, if your dog doesn't want to meet someone, doesn't want to meet another dog, don't force it. Your dog will tell you what they want to do. We have to learn to listen. But we listen to them through body language, vocalizations, but body language will always come first. And we're just not doing that. But now, again, with everything opening up, it's more than ever. It's more important than ever. We want to prevent any kind of issues happening. Anybody getting hurt or dogs getting more scared instead of, just enjoying life more, trusting us, trusting that we will put them in a situation where they don't have to be afraid.
And is it okay to pull them back before something, and just say, let everybody get their distance? Because you've talked to me about distance before. What are they doing when they're going away, and why do they go away? Retreat, I think, is what Dale Ward called it.
It's the idea is, if you're walking down the street, strangers coming towards you, and somebody said, well, go up and meet them. But you don't want to, right? No, that's okay. And you're going to look to move to the side, across the street, turn around, walk away, whatever it might be. Doesn't matter. It's fine. People have a tendency to walk forward, kind of with their dogs a little behind them. Come on over here. Meet these people. Meet this dog. And if you actually turn around and look at your dog, the dog is very adamantly saying, I don't want to do this.
How are they saying it? What does the face look like? Because if
you'll see what we call a tight face, right?
Okay.
The head may drop down. You see a dog who starts to get real stiff in the body. Some dogs will even put on the brakes. Mm-hmm. Saying you'll see some lip licking, maybe you see some what we call teeth chatter. You might see the eyes getting real wide. The ears are kind of pinned back. The tail now is either dropping down, or maybe the tail becomes very rigid and straight out. That kind of thing. We see that if we're looking at our dog, and what is our right or their left, if the tail is predominantly to that side, they're being very cautious of the situation. It's just, but people have to learn these things so that they make the best choice. The more often they make good choices for their dog, the dog will trust them. And once their dog trusts them, then they can gain confidence into going into situations. But if you're not seeing a dog who's going, hey, this is great, easy body, happy face, bit of a smile, maybe the tongue hanging out to the side thing, wanting to go up to someone, don't do it. On leash meet and greets, even with two dogs that might be happy, count off 1001, 1002, 1003, and you say to your dog, come here, buddy, come here. Walk back a few steps. Let that dog walk back a few steps. Now they get a chance to breathe, and we get a chance to see, do they want to meet again? Mm-hmm. Or did all of a sudden one dog go, no, that was enough and I'm done with this, and just turns its head or turns its body or just says, or just plants itself and says, no, I don't want to do this again.
That is beautiful. That is exactly what I was looking for.
If you meet someone and they go to shake your hand, right, that handshake for 1 or 2 seconds is usually okay. It's when that handshake starts to get beyond that, or the person takes their second hand and puts it over the top of yours, and that's when you see people getting uncomfortable, right? Brand new people. Shake hands, take your hand away, back up for a second, take a breath, figure out if you want to, continue talking with the person. No different than with the dogs.
Brilliant.
We're all the same.
Yeah.
All the species, we're all the same. We all have the same kind of reactions to things. We know what we want. We know what we don't want. We know what we want to do to get our needs met. And part of getting our needs met is someone giving us choice. Choice. It's what we forget about with our companion animals, of giving them choice.
You've been listening to Animals Inside Out, brought to you by BlackWing Farms. If you know anyone who could benefit from today's episode, please consider sharing it. Also, if you want to learn more about BlackWing Farms and the incredible natural remedies for mental, physical, and emotional needs of animals, go to blackwingfarms.com and enter Animals Inside Out for 10% off your next purchase. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, and we'll see you in the next episode.